Let's do problem 61, page 69. The problem says graph each system of inequalities, right? Graph the system. And this is our system. X squared less than or equal to 16 minus y squared. And the other one is 36 y squared greater than 324 minus 9x squared. And this is the system. So what should we do first? So looking at the first equation, what do you guys think is this one? Seems to be one. Be careful. X squared, y squared, 16 seems to be the equation of a conic section. Think about moving that y squared on the other side. Basically, we're adding y squared to both sides. It's going to be a circle, right? So it'll be x squared plus y squared less than or equal to 4 squared, right? Now I'm looking at the other one, and I have y squared x squared. Well, let's move that 9x squared on the other side, right? Basically, we're adding 9x squared. You're moving it, you will change the sign. So this will be what? 36y squared plus 9x squared greater than 324. And I put y squared first, although x squared will be let's put it x squared first, because that's what is going to be in the end. 9x squared plus 36y squared. Alright? First one, it's very clear to me that that's the equation of a circle. Second one, not so clear. However, it seems that is most likely the equation of what? What conic section do you guys see in here? We have a plus, an ellipse, right? So let's divide everything by 324, because for an ellipse I need to have 1 on the right side, something that equals 1, right? So I will divide everything by 324. And divide this part also by 324. Alright, my system is, that's x squared plus y squared less than or equal to 4 squared. And the other one, well, 9 and 324. It seems to me that 9 times 3 is actually equal to 324, right? So here I will have, for the first one, 9 and 324, I will have x squared over what? X squared over 36, to be careful, right? Because I have 9 over 324, the coefficient of my first term here. 9 goes in 9 once, 9 goes in 324, 36 times, right? That's why it's x squared over 36. Plus, I have y squared over what? 36 goes in 324, 9 times. And everything should be greater than 1. Okay? Now, it's very clear that we have a circle and we have an ellipse. And we should graph them. It says solve the system by graphing, right? If I have to graph that circle, and this will be my coordinate system, hold on, right? What do you notice? Both are centered where? At 0, 0, right at the origin. So I have my coordinate system. Looking at the ellipse first, this 36 is actually what? your a squared, right? Your a squared equals 36, which means a is 6. B squared equals 9, which means your B is going to be 3. What is my C here? C squared equals what for an ellipse? Will be a squared minus b squared, right? And that is 36 minus 9 gives me 27, which means C will be square root 27. Square root 27 is square root 9 times 3, which is 3 square root 3. Okay? So I know A equals 6, I know B equals 3, and I know C equals 3 square root 3. This gives me enough information to be able to graph my ellipse too. Let's start with the circle. Circle x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared. So I have a circle which is centered at the origin. And how long is the radius? 4 units long, right? So if this is 4 right here, right, that's 4. I should have 4 on this axis also. I should have 4 here, 4 down here. And all you have to do, so that's 4, that's negative 4, negative 4, just to make your circle, right? Your circle. And the last quarter here, that's a circle. And this is my circle, x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared. Now, we don't have the equation of a circle, we have an inequality. And it says, I'm looking for all the x's, all the points that for which x and y, x squared plus y squared will be less than 4. So where I have to, which part of the circle, the outside or the inside? It's the inside of my circle, right? And also the question is the very circle included in my, yes, why? Because it says equal to, right? So this is the solution set for the first inequality. The first inequality has, oh, hold on. Will be part, or the set, the solution set for that inequality will be everything that's inside this circle here. Okay? That's it pretty. There. There, right? Remember Bob Ross game? Okay, anyway, it's good enough. So that's my first one, right? Let's go with the second one, the ellipse. Major axis, A6. This is red for that. So I have the center at the origin. I have to go 6 units to the left, 6 units to the right to find my vertices, right? That's negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. That's your first vertex. On the other side, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is your V1, this is your V2, right? The second vertex. What else I can find? Well, the transverse axis here, or actually it's not called the transverse, is what? The conjugate axis for the ellipse would be given by your B, right? So you have to go B up, B down from the center. B is 3 units. I'm going 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. And 3 units down, 1, 2, 3 units here. And I can graph my ellipse without even graphing the 2 foci, right? I'm not required to find them. I don't need them. If you want, you know how to find them. How can we find the 2 foci? What do we need? We need C, right? And from the center, I will go C units to the left, C units to the right, and that will give me each focus for the ellipse. And now if you have to graph that ellipse, you start from any side, any vertex, any point you want, and your ellipse will come nice and make a round turn here at the vertex, round turn here where the conjugate axis is, and this is your ellipse. Now for this ellipse, it says everything that is greater than, but what you guys notice, I have no equal sign, which means this line here should be dotted line, right? I have a dotted line because it can be part of my ellipse line. I'm kind of, chewing out of this blue, but we know what is this about. So everything that is greater than this ellipse, right? Which means I'm going outside, and let's use yellow for that. I will use yellow, everything that goes outside. So everything that is outside your ellipse here, on all the sides of all over your coordinate system. You basically have all the points from your coordinate system, all the points in this plane, in this X and Y plane, excluding the ellipse. So whatever's inside the ellipse can be part of that. And I'm gonna make it nice. So the question is, what will be the solution set for my system? And where do you think the solution of your system will be located? I'm looking for all the points that will have both properties, right? Will be less than this circle and greater than my ellipse. So which part do you think will satisfy me? Exactly. Yeah, so it's you can call it the North Pole and the South Pole of this crazy planet that I represented here, right? What planet could be this? One of the planets in our system, Saturn, right? Well, it's not the planet, but I'm talking about the North Pole and South Pole of this, planet here, which is this part, right? Whenever my blue and yellow are overlapping, but also making sure that, here at the bottom of this, hat, if you want, of this, circle thing, I'm excluding everything that is, supposed to be on the ellipse. And the same thing at the bottom, you have this part, right, where the yellow and blue are overlapping. It's supposed to be green. I don't know why it's not. And now, well, it's not going to be green anymore because I'm adding this, whatever, purple. But that's the answer. This is your solution set, if you want, the two, poles, if you want to call it that way, top and bottom. Okay, and this is it.